Hey everybody, it's Jerry Citarella again with Jerry Citarella Presents, here to educate, inspire, and enlighten. And I have a hunch we might do all of those for you today. I have a great guest with me, Craig Bumatay. I like that. As he introduced himself, he said, "Hit me with the boom."
That's right.
So
Thanks,
Craig Bumatay. Greg is a performance, leadership, coach, business, accountability. I'm going to give you a bunch of titles since I'm not clear on what you do because I know you do so much and benefit so many people. But we're here today to talk about really becoming successful, right? Hitting your goals, tracking to those goals, making sure you have somebody on your team. I'm opening a new office here. Some of you have probably seen my Build It, which I apologize, we didn't do as many videos as I said I was going to do, but my Build It project, going through the process of building this, I was sharing with the audience. And a lot of that is really kind of setting goals, benchmarks, things that you want to do. And sometimes when you're running around and crazy and out of control, what's really working, what's not working, and then squirrel, something happens and you kind of run the other direction and then that gets out of hand. And having somebody who can hold you accountable, guide you, take you by the shoulders once in a while and go, remember we were going this way. We'll get to that later. So that's what I think you do. And I think that's what a lot of people need, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know, and I'll let you talk in a minute, but I know the other day we were talking about a lot of people that are good at something think they can go into business in that thing.
Yeah.
The example I use is just because you can swing a hammer doesn't mean you should own a construction company. You had a similar example we kind of bonded on. But I think you're someone that just because you can swing a hammer doesn't mean you should open one, but you could with the right guidance, coaching, mentor kind of thing. Yeah. So that's a exciting thing that you do, and it's necessary for everybody. So tell me a little bit more about yourself and how you got started. We'll get deep into what you do and how you do it. So, by the way, Craig here, I know he looks like he's my kid, which makes me a little mad here. Craig's 40 years old, has a family, 2 kids. You're blessed with this youthfulness. You still get carded, don't you?
A little bit, not as much as I'd like anymore, but every now and then.
Yeah, when I first met you, I'm like, oh, looks like a cool kid in the corner. And then I realized we're almost peers. You're not quite as old as me, but you'll get there. So Craig, tell the people a little bit about what it is you do and how you do it.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff, right? I take a holistic approach to helping people really achieve their professional and their personal goals. I want my clients, I want everyone to live a life of no regrets. So what do I mean by that? I think a lot of people are kind of coasting, drifting through life, saying to themselves, oh, I've got time. I'll figure it out when I hit 30. I'll figure it out when I hit 40.
That clock just speeds up.
I'll wait until I get married or have kids, right? So kind of what I refer to as the someday mentality, which I'm guilty of that in my past myself, telling myself someday I'll start my own business.
Yeah.
Someday I'll write a book, right? And then reality kind of showed up and hit me in the face and it's like, Craig, you're operating like there's guaranteed time.
Good point.
We don't know how much time we have.
No.
As a financial advisor, I think you could greatly appreciate that, right? Like that's the great unknown.
Right.
But how do you kind of balance living, which I don't think I was really living for 15 years of my professional career. So my background's in finance and accounting. I'm a CPA. I use that discipline, that knowledge to help people run more financially sound businesses, right? Because like you said, a lot of people maybe pursue a passion, try to turn it into a business, but they don't have the fundamental kind of operating financial wherewithal to really get to the next level, right? Okay. And a lot of people, I think, just throw in the towel too soon.
We've all seen that image of the guys with the pickaxe going down the tunnel, and they're this far from reaching the gold at the time they give up.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's probably just because they didn't really have a plan, and it just felt like the time to give up. But yeah, there's so many. I did another video about that years ago. That 2 things happen. One is we're always getting ready to go.
Yeah.
And we just never go.
Yeah.
And the other one is you just don't have any real timelines in place and you don't know when to stop. And because of that, sometimes you stop too soon. So that's a really good point. I mean,
Yeah.
some people get so close.
Yeah.
And I think some people stop because subconsciously they're afraid of getting to that point where it's that next big step, which is we're done planning. Now we have to see if we can actually do it.
Yeah.
And that's where you come in to make sure that they understand those.
Yeah, because as
timelines.
humans, there's this, we fall into this trap of thinking busy translates into success or productivity. And it took me a while to figure it out in corporate that, hard work doesn't translate into success.
Right.
Is it part of the equation? Yes. Is it important? Can you teach kind of discipline and work ethic? No. But at the same time, for me, it's a lot more about the mindset, working with clients to get them aligned with success. And what do I mean by that? Meaning, what is the resistance? What is the hesitation? Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of success? Believe it or not, some people self-sabotage themselves.
Right.
But how do you get out of that trap of thinking busy translates into goals being met or providing great client service, when unfortunately it doesn't? And as humans, a lot of times we're more wired for survival than for success, meaning it doesn't feel comfortable to push ourselves outside our comfort zone. It's too easy to settle for good when great is just, one chip away, one step away.
So is that, would you say, one of the things that you see stopping people maybe more than anything else, just their fear of the unknown, their comfort level in being in a place where it's enough,
Yeah.
content? Is that something where you see a lot of people that have greatness in them but just don't quite make it just because it's nothing in them that's missing? It's just the desire to do it or the know-how to do it. What's the biggest thing you see where you can say, if I had to put a stamp on the number one reason people don't get to where they want to go, what would that be?
I think they've accepted the self-doubt that it's just not going to happen for them. A lot of people may be saying, I've been doing this career for 10, 15, 20 years. It's too late to pivot. It's too late to try something new. It's too late to bet on myself. I think it's really that, I call it courage. I think a lot of people would maybe refer to it as confidence, and I think that's part of it too, but it takes a lot of courage to drown out your friends, your family, social media critics, and go all in on yourself. And it takes more than just one belief, one idea, one motivating factor. You've got to have a multitude of those, right? So I like to use the word passion, but I think a lot of people throw that around more loosely, meaning, oh, I have a hobby, I'm passionate about playing pickleball. Okay, but is that a winning game plan to go start a pickleball business or something, right? But to me, passion is really, what do you believe in so deeply? What are you so convicted about that you're never going to give up? I think that's the secret sauce.
I heard a very successful gentleman not too long ago say that when he was deciding what he was going to do next after something kind of worked and didn't work, and he really had to make a decision, he actually wrote out in a list everything he would do for free for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And he was willing to do it all day for free, and then looked at that and said, okay, now which ones could I potentially turn into a business? It was funny. The first one he said, hugging baby animals. Like, can't do that. That's kind of weird. And then went down the line, and it ends up now he's a huge restaurateur. And it was a whole process, but that's exactly what he did. What was he passionate about? But with the realization that he had to make money doing it. They always say, do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yes.
So that's what you're talking about, is finding that passion. Now, is that somewhere where you would come in? Let's just say I'm going, hey, I got this financial planning firm. We're doing okay. It's good enough. Yeah. I'd like to go a little further, but so are you someone who would come in and help me find something within myself that could get me to the point where I now have the drive, the ambition, and the passion to go forward?
Yeah, so that's really kind of the partnership, and a lot of times that's where we start. I mean, don't get me wrong, some people know exactly what they want or think they know exactly what they want, but that can change. I've worked with clients that say, okay, I'm done with corporate. let me buy a franchise. They go down that path. Okay, I don't want to buy a franchise.
Right.
Or I don't like my current role. Let me just help me find a new corporate role. And then they realize I'm never going to be satisfied in corporate. I want to create my own thing, right? So a lot of it really starts with clarity around who do you want to be? I think you opened it up around helping people become who they want to be. And it really starts with the being phase more so than the doing or the having. But I think people are so focused on, I got to do this so that I can have this or earn this amount of income or live in this zip code or drive this kind of car, that they forget about the being and kind of the identity and what's underneath and the driving forces that are going to sustain the momentum, because
who am I? What am I good at? What's my
Yeah.
unique abilities, and what do I want this to be?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
identifying
kind of
that.
partner with them to bring that out of them.
Okay.
Because figuring that out on your own in isolation in a box, can it be done? Yes. Can it be done quickly? Probably not.
Yeah.
Right. Otherwise we would all know what we do and stick with that lane.
Yeah, and I love the personalization of it. There's a ton of self-help books out there. You go to the library right now. They still have libraries, right? I think so.
Yeah.
You go to Google, wherever. You go to the bookstore. There's a row of business building, goal setting, accountability. You can find the resources there, and it's out there. And when I wrote my book years ago, I said if it was easy to be successful, everybody would be successful, because there's 1,000 books telling you how to be successful.
Yeah.
Both in terms of financial planning and investments, and just in general.
Yeah.
So I think everybody's different, everybody's individual. And so often as business people or salespeople or business owners, we go to these events, right? And you walk out of there feeling like you just did drugs for the first time, and you're wired. And then, like doing drugs for the first time, from what I hear, I don't do drugs, the buzz kind of wears off.
Yeah.
And then it goes away, and then you're just the same person you were. And there's no real path moving forward, other than you go to the back of the room and you buy $600 worth of books because the guy was a great speaker.
Yeah.
And then you have all these books you don't have time to read because you don't have a clear plan. And so I'm a big believer in the one-on-one personal coaching. And I shared a story with you. I'll share it here, that I had a coach many, many years ago, and he walked in and he asked me where my stuff was. We had accountability things, and I made 2 excuses. I think I was well on my way to my 3rd excuse.
Yeah.
And he cussed at me a little bit, and he walked out and he said, "Don't waste my time or yours." And I grabbed him and said, "Wait a minute, what are you doing? We have a session." He goes, "I'm not going to do a session if you're not going to do your job. I'm doing mine. I showed up, I gave you the stuff. Those are all excuses. There's no reality in anything you told me. Don't waste my time, even though you're paying me."
Yeah.
And walked out on me. And I was like, that was amazing. So I think accountability is huge. And I think with the one-on-one training, you can add some of that you can't get just going to these seminars and doing what, unfortunately, a lot of companies do. Just, let's all go to this thing for the weekend, and you're all going to come back better. Well,
as we talked about, it feels great. And I've been to those myself.
Yeah, and there's nothing against
and
those.
I get stuff
It's
out
a good jump
of
start.
it.
Yeah.
But I think people are going to that thinking, okay, this is going to be
the magic bullet,
tipping point,
yeah,
the inflection point, right? I'm going to go there. I'm going to leave. I'm going to then climb the mountain, right? And then you're just kind of wait, and then they fall back into the waiting, or they go back into their old habits, because as humans, we don't stay the course. It's like the shiny object syndrome, right? It's too easy. There's too many distractions. If something's not working instantaneously, then we start to think, okay, do I need to come up with a new offering? Do I need to go after a different client demographic, right? So we're constantly shifting. We don't give ourselves the time to be successful.
Yeah.
I think, going back to one of your previous questions, I think too often we're looking for the shortcut.
And that's human nature, and that's common. Everybody wants the quick fix, especially the world we live in. I was going to say this about what you were just saying about the shiny objects, but talk about the quick fix. I mean, with social media these days, and Google and AI, and I mean, if we wanted some information, again, now realizing that you're an old guy like me, we used to have these things called encyclopedias, remember? You had to thumb through them and try not to plagiarize it. But anything that you wanted, it took longer, and you kind of appreciated, right? That challenge to find that information. And now you just So I don't think anybody really has the same mindset where they understand that some things actually take time.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to get distracted because every day there's a new technique, there's a new gimmick, there's a new
Yeah.
this, a new that. And just staying focused is probably way more difficult now than it was years ago because just general timelines were different.
Yeah. It took me too long to realize that time's our most valuable resource. But a lot of us don't value our time. Meaning we're too quick to step over a dollar to pick up a penny.
Yeah.
Right? Spend hours like cleaning your house because you think you're saving money, whereas you could hire somebody to do that and you can lean into what your skill sets, your geniuses are and make more money that way, right? So part of it is about helping people buy back their time, identify what those distractions, those blind spots are, because at the end of the day, if whatever you're doing isn't getting you a step closer to your goal, then it's a distraction. And in my mind, all distractions are equal.
Equal and evil.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's part of what you do. You're going to help somebody, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but you're going to help somebody understand what it is they want to be, what they're trying to accomplish, kind of in its simple form first.
Yeah.
And then create some paths for them to get there with them. Right? So we talked about this earlier. You're not the guy that's going to come in and tell me how to do it.
Right.
You're the one that's going to come in and help me understand better and create a plan together.
Exactly.
And then past that, you would help me or anybody else kind of remain accountable, keep their eye on the ball, all those kind of things. So you're going to come in from beginning to end and help me through that process.
Yeah.
What am I missing?
I like what I do because I'm actually independent. I'm unbiased. Meaning when I worked in corporate and I had a mentor or a sponsor, there's always that human innate bias. Meaning if I worked with a top performer, am I really incentivized to help them pursue other opportunities?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I selfishly want to keep them on my team because they're a top performer?
Right.
Right. Whereas what I do now, I am completely unbiased. I have no hidden agenda other than to help you or to help somebody else achieve what they really want to achieve. And again, live a life of no regrets and figure out what does that look like without sacrificing your non-negotiables.
I like that.
For me, that's my health, my family, my faith,
Mm-hmm.
right? And really seeing myself through the lens of who I want to be, who I am becoming, right? I think it's a journey, not a destination. So if I can have that perspective of I'm competing against myself, I'm not competing with anyone else, just how can I get better each and every day? How can I not settle? How can I not tell myself good is good enough? Right.
Okay. I like it. So your business, you do virtual, you do in person, you do some group stuff. So there's a number of different ways you work. And I want to give you kind of a final word here. But if someone was watching right now, and we'll have all the information up, but if someone wanted to contact you, what's the one best way? Is it email? Is it phone number?
Email, phone. I very much tailor it to the individual's goals and where they are in their life. So to do that, I want to make sure it's a good fit.
Okay.
Both ways. So because of that, I offer kind of an introductory complimentary session.
Okay.
I call it a career or business reset call to meet people where they are. So if anyone's interested, that's a great first step, especially if you haven't had an experience with coaching in the past.
And give your number right into that camera right there, just so everybody can see it. Right over here, one of these two.
Yeah, 310-766-3335. Craig at craigbumatay.com is my email, and craigbumatay.com is my website.
And it's Bumatay.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then because you do virtual, it's not just someone that's in the area here, it's all over the country.
Right. So it could be international. I've got clients across the US, but as we've talked about, I can also do stuff in person within kind of Orange County, greater Orange County area, if there's a demand for that, because I think there's always There's always power in being in the same room.
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of people over the years in my career, 30 plus years, that have been coached and uncoached. And all I can say is people that have been coached and have accountability partners, even if it's someone in your office, that's a true
Yeah.
accountability partner.
Yeah.
Not, oh, you're doing great.
Yeah.
But someone that really will hold you accountable and even just bounce ideas. So whether it's just two people that are working together to help each other or someone like you who does this for a living, I can tell you historically I've seen leaps and bounds ahead of someone that just tries to wing it.
Yeah.
In terms of progress. So I totally understand and respect what you do. And anybody out there that is thinking, I just can't figure out what it's going to take to get me where I want to be.
Yeah.
I think you're a great option. Or anybody else, you know, obviously he's a
Sure.
great guy. Just find someone that you can work with. But I'm going to give you a chance here, put you on the spot. Like last sentence, we're going to go off air. We're going to cut this. Words of wisdom. What's the one thing that you can say that you think is most important in terms of success, life, or whatever it is that you think is most important to you?
Yeah. It is never too late to pivot. The only thing that's stopping you from greatness is yourself. I'm going to use kind of the physical analogy because we both like to work out and fitness is important to us and health. A lot of times we stop short. We maybe give 60, 70, 80% of what physically we think we're capable of. And that's our mind kind of protecting us and keeping us in that safe comfort zone. Not that I'm telling people to push yourself to, where you're pass out or something like that, which I've done to myself.
Right.
It's not fun, I wouldn't recommend it. But a lot of people have got another 20, 30% in the tank of untapped potential.
Gotcha.
And to live a life of no regrets, you've got to get outside that comfort zone. You've got to tap into, that next level that exists there. You just haven't uncovered it yet.
So from a fitness, the last 2 reps are way more important than the first 10.
Yeah.
And a lot of people never get those last 2 reps because those are the hard ones.
Yeah.
So you're saying you can take them past that point of comfort into the place where they become really effective and make those gains and reach those goals.
That's right.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Jerry.
it. Jerry
Really a
Citarella
pleasure.
presents. Craig Bumatay, give him a call if you need some help. If not, find someone else who can coach you. Tune in for more shows. You know we're going to be kicking it up again. You can't see it here, but I'm in my new office in Orange County. We're in the studio. Maybe one day we'll show you, but it's kind of messy right now. We're just figuring stuff out, but happy to have Craig as my first official guest in the new studio. Thank you so much.
Such an honor.
And he gave me my coaching proposal. And I've already made 2 excuses of why I can't start it right now. We're all guilty of it.
Yeah,
we're all
we
guilty
negotiate
of
with
it.
ourselves.
Yeah, but I got to get some things going, and I appreciate what you do. Appreciate having you here, and
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.